gentlemen, I'm Sandy. Welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Adam from Red Side of the Trent podcast to discuss all things Nottingham Forest ahead of our game at the City Ground at the weekend. How are you, mate?
I'm good, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I don't think we can say anywhere else apart from Nuno and the Marinakis saga. Just explain to me what's happening and what's going to happen with that.
So, as far as I'm aware, Edu has come in to be this head of global Marinakis empire, as you will, and it just sounds like they've kind of not seen eye to eye since day one, which is, I find that very strange. So, I don't really know the full ins and outs of it, obviously. I'd love to be a fly on the wall with a Marinakis meeting, to be honest. Probably got them both in a headlock or something, but yeah, I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, it sounds like Nuno wants to get it resolved one way or another, and it sounds like Marinakis wants to be the peacemaker and all of it and have a working, harmonious club for a change. So hopefully it gets all sorted fairly quickly because the fan base are eager for the football just to happen now and Europe to happen and good vibes, basically.
Yeah. And obviously they had that Nuno in the summer with those, which that led 4 signs over 3 days with McAtee, Tagliarenda, Dutch Series, and all that. So they had that then. So it would feel strange to make the change now.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be strange. We've had our best season in like 30 odd years, I think it is, back in Europe. He doubled our points tally last season. He broke a lot of records, won Manager of the Month more than anyone else last season as well. It'd be very, very weird if we just suddenly parted companies after such a good season. The only way I'd see it happening is if he got sacked because he didn't want to walk. And Marinakis would have a lot to answer for, really, with the fan base. And he's quite egotistical. He listens to the fan base, weirdly enough. So I think he does. I don't think he wants to get rid of him. I think he wants to sort it. So hopefully he does.
Could there be a danger that the fan base turn against Marinakis if something like this was to happen?
I don't think so. I think there'd be definite grumbles because it'd be like, but I don't think people would blame Marinakis as such. I think it would be kind of like why Nuno swallowed his pride a little bit, or why someone just compensated. Do you know what I mean? Have an adult conversation about things because it's going well for Forest. Like you say, Nuno's been backed, so it would be very, very strange. But I don't think fan base would turn on Marinakis as such purely because of what he's been able to do in such a short space of time.
Yeah. And you touched on the European campaign. We'll get onto that shortly. But what have been the thoughts on the first couple of games in the league?
Yeah, Brentford was fairly routine. I thought 3-1 flattered Brentford. We were very, very strong in that game. We created a lot of chances. Brentford looked very, very suspect. And then since then, they've won a couple of games in the league and cup. So actually what I thought Brentford would probably be one of the favourites that aren't one of the promoted teams to beat the drop. They're suddenly becoming a cockroach of the league where they just can't get killed no matter how many of their good players leave.
Yeah.
And then Palace was a game I thought we was there for the taking, especially when Eze's just left for Arsenal. I thought it was an opportunity to be taken, but the build up and everything that gone off in the summer was quite a big atmosphere. I think their crowd played a big part in how their team played as well. And we just couldn't take an opportunity. We could have won it at the death. We hit the post and we had a good chance for Amari Hutchinson as well. But I take a point on the road in the Premier League. It's hard to get points on the road in the Premier League. So I'm quite happy with our start.
Yeah, just quickly on that Palace game. What were your thoughts on that banner from the Palace fans? Were you bothered?
I mean, it's funny. I think from a neutral's point of view, you're like, it's quite good. I mean, it was funny, but I'm like, it's a bit. It's one of them. Like, do you want? How far are you willing to push something and someone's agenda? I've said this. I've talked to quite a few Crystal Palace fans face to face, even, and just said like, you need to lay blame on your own owner at some point because at the end of the day, it's them that's missed an email or missed the deadline. It's not Marinakis. So it is what it is. Like people, I'm quite happy being one of the most hated teams in the Premier League. To be honest, I'm quite enjoying it.
Good time. But it means you're doing something right if that's the case.
Yeah, that's it.
What do you think is a realistic ambition for Forest in the league this season, Europe aside? What do you think is realistic?
I think if we can have another season where we're in that mix for another European campaign for the following season, whether that's Conference or Europa, I think that represents a good season again. I mean, if we had a good Europa League run and finished like 8th, 9th, 10th, I'm equally happy. But I think with Newcastle, Aston Villa looking a little bit suspect, I think 5th is very, very much up for grabs for quite a lot of teams. So I'm aiming high, to be honest, Sam. I'm not going to lie to you.
Fair enough. There could be everything. There could be in a situation where you come to March, April time, you're in the quarterfinals, semi-finals in Europe, and you're mid-table in the league. Would you be happy with Forest to completely throw the league at 14th, 15th if it meant that you have a further one at Europe?
That's quite a good question. You know, I think potentially if there was if like the teams that were left in that draw are favourable of beating, then I don't see why we wouldn't kind of sacrifice the league a little bit. But I think we've now improved our squad so much, I can't see that happening personally.
Yeah.
And Nuno's experience of being in Europe with Wolves with a much smaller squad, I think we've got a good chance on all fronts. But that's easier said than done. It's football. Football's a funny game like that.
Yeah, because it's trying to remind me of the sort of heyday of when we were in Europe, and we struggled in the league or in the Europa League. But you have got like a much better squad than we had back then. So those couple of signs in forward areas in the last a week or so, I think, will make a big difference too. Quickly, what do you think the starting lineup is likely to be at the City Ground on Sunday?
I don't think we'll change anything personally. So Matt Sells will start in goal in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. That could change shape. So Olaraino at right back, Nico Williams at left back, Milenkovic and Murillo centre backs, Sangare, Anderson, Gibbs White in midfield of whatever shape that might look like. It might be a bit of a Sangare at the base and Anderson and Gibbs White just in front. That's what we did against Brentford at home, and we had a lot of control in that game. And then I think Dan Doy, Hudson-Odoi on the wings with Super Chris Wood, as you all know about, up front.
Yes. So Sangare at the start then, yeah?
Yeah. He started the first 2 games and he started the previous 6 at the end of last season. Nuno's a really big fan of Ibrahim Sangare. This is why it's quite surprised me, this rumour that he could go to West Ham has come about. It's very, very strange to me, and I don't understand it really. With when we need the depth and we need him to play, he's been good in the first 2 games, in my opinion. I think against Brentford he was excellent. Against Palace, less than excellent, but he was probably our best midfielder of the day.
Yeah. And do you think Douglas Luiz might with eventually take his place? Or
no, so funny, Douglas Luiz gets labelled as being a defensive midfielder / number 6, and he's not. He's a number 8. He's a box-to-box like midfielder, likes to get in those positions, similar to how Kevin De Bruyne likes to in wide areas and put crosses in and gets goals. So there's a world where he could do a role, but I don't think in the long term Douglas Luiz plays instead of Sangare. If anything, they play alongside each other, and Luiz plays with Elliot Anderson or Gibbs White or whatever in a more advanced midfield role.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What about the Cups? Forest are going to take the Cups too seriously this year. Obviously, the League Cup draw tonight and the FA Cup later in the season.
I think so. We got to the semi-finals of the FA Cup last year, and to be fair, against City, we had a really good game, although we conceded really early in the first half, so that kind of killed us, and then we conceded quite early in the second half. To be fair, so
didn't Bruno make a few changes that game?
I think he didn't start Alanga because Alanga was a bit like coming in and out of injury at the time. Ola Aina I think he didn't play. We had Zach Abbott basically he made his debut in the FA Cup that day, so that was probably a bit of a baptism of fire playing right back when he's a centre half. So yeah, we had changes made unfortunately in that game, and we didn't even have Nico Williams at left back. We had Tario Toffolo, who's now playing in America, so that says a lot, really. I think if we had our full strength side, I think it would have been a lot closer game. But we had chances in that game to beat City. and then I think I fancied us against Palace if we'd got to the final. But yeah, I think we'll go serious in both cups. We've got the squad to rotate as well, so that will be quite fun actually. I think having proper players in your reserves.
Yeah, that's a big factor that I don't think Forest will be in trouble because of the size of your squad. It gives you a really good base to build on for all 4 competitions. Quickly, what are your thoughts on West Ham?
I think West Ham are in a little bit of trouble. I think they're not. I think Graham Potter is a weird choice of manager, because I just think he's always fell upwards. To be honest, he got the Brighton job finishing mid-table with Swansea, and then got the Chelsea job finishing mid-table with Brighton. It just never made sense. So I think your owners are. I don't know how to describe them. I mean, ours is a lunatic, as everyone rightly says, but I feel like Gold and Sullivan haven't got a clue for West Ham, and it's quite a shame, really, because West Ham are a big club in London from where they're based and everything, and I know they've got the taxpayer stadium, but they've got great support there. Even though I think it's nothing on Upton Park, is it? I just think the transfer activity has been odd. I think what you spent under Lopetegui was obviously like Hayward as one of the windows of the summer, and it was a complete and utter failure. And I just think the club need they need structure. I put out a tweet, I think today or yesterday, about why did they get rid of David Moyes or mutually part ways when he was your most successful manager for a generation? Do you know what I mean? He won you a European trophy, he had a stable sort of team. You were a good team, hard team to play against. It just made no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I actually speak about this area. Moyes took the backlash of those owners for years. The problem when Moyes is here, the problem was always Moyes, the problem wasn't the ownership group. But I do think we'd be in a similar position had we kept Moyes still, because he had fell out with the director of football, and then so that was the reason they technically got rid of him, because he was offered a contract, but it was to be as a head coach, not as a manager, and Moyes didn't want that, so he was offered a contract. I think some people don't really know that. But then 6 months later, they got rid of the director of football. That's like, that was the point in getting rid of Moyes now. So no direction at all. They've been sorting the life out of us for years. The stadium move and backlash dramatically. Yeah, it's not good. How do you see the game on Sunday then?
I think if it goes anything like the Brentford one, Sam, I think it will be a comfortable win for Forest. I expect us to be on the front foot. We've actually had more possession than we've ever had done, I think, with any of our managers in the last few years in these first 2 games. So I expect us to control the game. I think West Ham will make it tough. They've got to kind of quieten our crowd down a little bit. But I think if we get an early goal, it could be a few goals to nil. I mean, I think we've beat you 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 in the first 3 seasons since we've been back. So I think 4-0 could be on the cards, but we'll see. It's going to be a tougher game than a lot of fans think, including myself. But I think we'll win probably 2 or 3-0.
Thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to come on to the podcast?
Just check us out. Red Side of the Trent on YouTube, Red Side Trent on Twitter and Facebook and TikTok and all that good stuff. So yeah, just come on by. Loads of stuff on there.
Right, thanks, Simon. Thanks very much for coming on. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe for more. I'll leave the link to the podcast and Twitter in the description. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching that. Bye. Thanks, Simon.